Hello, I'm Justin Schaefers, and this is my persuasive speech for Amy Sorensen's Speech 101 class. The chances of making it to the professional level of any sport in America is nearly impossible. I would like to focus on our two most popular sports, basketball and football, specifically the National Basketball Association and the National Football League. According to the NCAA, the chances of a student making it to the National Basketball Association is 1.2%. The National Football League drafts only 1.7% of its students. With the percentage already incredibly low, why would the NBA and NFL implement rules to lower the chances even more? The NBA and NFL add rules that restrict the ages of which students can enter the league, therefore adding more years to which injury or illness can happen. I believe that once an athlete has graduated high school and they have the athletic ability to compete at any level, that they should fulfill their destiny and compete at whatever level they wish to pursue. The current eligibility rule for the NFL and NBA is stated by Michael McCann and Joseph Rosen in their article, Legality of Age Restrictions in the NBA and NFL. As stated, for an amateur football player to be eligible for the NFL draft, at least 3 years must pass from when the player graduated high school and the NFL draft. And the NBA states that it requires an amateur player of an American origin to be at least 19 years old on December 31st, and 1 year of the NBA draft must have passed since they graduated high school. These rules were put in place to ensure that the athletes were mature enough to participate in the drastic lifestyle that comes with entering professional level sport. But in Susan McKelvey's article, Spendthrift Trust, an alternative to the NBA age rule, she quotes, "Making a student attend college does not promote maturity because high-profile student athletes are treated much differently than normal students." She means that they do not have to attend class, they don't have to get the certain grades, they are there to pass the time until they can enter the draft of their choosing. The eligibility rule has very little effect on most players, but for the elite athletes and its draftees, it is depriving them of their rightful duty and millions of dollars in contract money. McLeavy also backs this up in her article when she says, "The cognitive basis that players who jump from high school to the NBA get in trouble also lacks merit. NBA players who do not attend college represent a disproportionately low percentage of troublesome players. With few or any benefits to league rules, the problems easily outweigh the benefits. One problem with the NBA and the NFL claim is that they are trying to control maturity. But if a team believes that a player is not mature enough once they come out of high school, then they can simply not draft the player. It is completely up to them, and the player should be able to choose when they want to enter the draft instead of someone telling them when they are able." And for some younger athletes, one of the biggest problems is that the sport is not a need, but more of a want, but more of a need. The article is Spendthrift Trust, an alternative to the NBA age rule. McCullough states, "The NBA age rule withholds economic opportunity and stunts career development for the nation's most promising high school basketball players. Some young players that come from impoverished families need the NBA or the NFL to help support their family and get them out of poverty." I have more of a problem with the NBA's eligibility rule than the NFL, because the best basketball players in high school that would have entered the draft do so right away after 1 year of college anyway. The NBA thinks that they are helping college basketball, but college basketball does not need any help as they were thriving before the rule was ever set in place. The NFL has a little different story because there is more of a learning curve between high school and college for football players, more so than basketball players. The NFL does have a clause in their rules, and Maurice Clarett was one of the first athletes to challenge it. He challenged the NFL's eligibility rule, saying it violated the Sherman Antitrust Act. The judge originally ruled in favor of Clarett, but it was later reversed in appeals court, and Clarett had to wait until he was eligible for the draft like every other athlete. But in Susan McKelvey's article, she says, "The NBA age rule, unlike the NFL rule, is memorialized in writing. The NBA also has a secondary defense that," she quotes, "the antitrust laws were passed from the protection of competition, not individual competitors. Therefore, because the NBA age rule represents part of the system of rules that contributes to the operation of the one sports league, a court will likely uphold the NBA age rule, making the NBA's rule nearly tamper-proof." The NBA and the NFL are only cheating themselves by not getting the most elite athletes as soon as possible. There's not any evidence that suggests the eligibility rule of these two powerhouse sports are feasible at any level. The rules are restricting and disadvantageous to families who are counting on support of their star athlete. The only solution to the problem of these policies is that they change them or abolish them completely. If the rules aren't changed, then the gifted athletes will continue to be forced to wait for the $1 million contract that could save their family or themselves. The rules of the NBA and NFL are unfair and need to be changed, and that's just the way it is.